then. It's about 3:30 AM and it's just a bit muggy in it to sleep, and I wanted to do a video in peace without dogs barking or other people jumping in and trying to put me off. So I'm at my mate's tonight, and you can't get no peace when you're at somebody else's house, can you? It's last thing they want is Porky Pig walking about with a camera, and sometimes you're at somebody else's house, you can't even you feel uncomfortable going to a fidget night, don't you, if it's not your house. So I'll come outside and sit in car with windows down. It's regarding the Billy Joe Saunders Demetrius Andrade purse bid. We all know for years and that Matchroom have been going 32 a year, and to my knowledge they've only ever won 8 purse bids. They always try and sort it so that it don't go to purse bids. Now what happens with a purse bid is any promoter can bid if it goes to purse bids. So you've got Frank Warren's got Billy Joe, Eddie's got Demetrius Andrade. Eddie's going to want it on DAZN to debut his show, and, you know, starting out his new TV deal in America. So he's going to want it over there, and shut this window. And so Frank and Eddie, to be fair to them, I gave them some stick yesterday on Twitter, but they're not going to want any of the promoters involved in bidding for it now. You know, I've heard rumours that there were other promoters involved, you know, who were going to bid it. I heard it were 1 or 2 minutes to go they agreed a deal and got in touch with the WBO, but we all know that the WBO is the Warren Boxing organisation. It has been, you know, since the mid-90s. You know, Frank Warren's very well affiliated with the WBO. But in my opinion, for all the years Frank Warren has given Eddie Hearn stick, you know, about he never wins a purse bid, and Eddie don't win a purse bid. We all know Eddie don't invest in fighters. He never wins a purse bid and blah de blah. Why didn't he just let it go to purse bids? Frank Warren's supposed to be with BT Sport. He's supposed to have the backing. I've got BT Sport now, I'm going to take Sky on. Well, if you've got BT Sport, why don't you back your fighter Billy Joe Saunders? The reason he didn't back his fighter, they're all saying they wanted to agree a deal, is because Billy doesn't sell a ticket, does he? And he alienates a lot of people on social media with his comments. Can be pretty crude and awful, can't they? And so he doesn't sell a lot of tickets, so he's got an handful on his hands, hasn't he, Frank, really, with him. So he's got to send him on road. Eddie Hearn knew that, but Eddie Hearn didn't want to throw too much at the deal, so we can't really say he hasn't got billions, but you would have thought, if he's got all this financial clout, that he would have just said, no Frank, we're not having a deal, we're going to purse bids. I just blown him away. First chance you get to have a purse bid to flex your muscles. Look, I'm $1 billion Eddie. Richard Schaefer calls him $1 billion Eddie. The first chance you get to flex your muscles, and what do? What do you go and do? You go and agree a deal behind closed doors. What? What's all that about? Whatever happened to blowing people away with purse bids? Hey, show people what you're made of. See, that's where the Hearns slip up. Remember what I said to you in an earlier video? Accountant by name, accountant by nature, the old man Hearn. And Eddie's just the same as his dad. That's why they pulled out of boxing when Steve Collins got beat by Bent second time. They didn't have a star, they just tiptoed, they dabbed in and dabbed out. They weren't really bothered till they got, you know, Kell Brook, Barker, Carl Froch. When Carl Froch took off with Matchroom, that's when they started making noise, but they didn't really know what they were doing, did they, at the time? He had Audley Harrison, our worst pay-per-view. They got pay-per-view banned, Eddie Hearn, didn't he? Eddie Hearn and Hay, he got it banned for 3 years in UK. Carl Froch brought pay-per-view back. He laid the blueprint for them all with Kessler fight. Kessler and then the two Groves fights. Carl brought it back and he don't get enough respect for that. But I liked his interview today where he blamed Eddie Hearn on IFL for why the Wilder Joshua fight hadn't happened. Of course it's down to Eddie Hearn. If your star fighter asks for 50 million and Shelley Finkel, Al Heyman, Lou DiBella, they prove that the money's there. Chase Manhattan Bank won it, or did they send the email through, or they proved the funds were there, didn't they? What were it, First National? Either way, you know, I side with them on this, and the good thing is, you know, I've never met Lou DiBella, but you know, he followed me on Twitter today, and I don't follow Lou, but I follow him now, and I just sent him a direct message and said thank you, Lou. Well, that meant a lot to me today, knowing that, you know, I'd sent him a few videos and somebody like that has took the time to watch a few of my videos. But I just think that Eddie and Frank, they've been bitching for 8 years, and when it come down to it, Frank's with BT Sport, making big noise about all these numbers, viewing figures and subscription channels, and they're going to do pay-per-view, they're going to do wonders, but what did he do? He fucking shake cucumbers, didn't he? Do you know what I mean? He didn't do anything, did he? And what did Eddie do? $1 billion Eddie. What did he do? He were going to blow him away with his purse bid. The purse bid didn't happen. The money's not there in boxing. The money's not there. I do a couple of days a week helping out a world-class trainer, you know, about 60 miles from here. Mondays and Fridays, you know, I'll be there tomorrow, and a couple of things I do behind the scenes, but I don't do it for money. I do it for love of boxing. The money isn't there in boxing. Plus, at that level that they're at, they've got a lot to pay out, and you can easily be wiped out. Al Heyman's wasted $500,000, hasn't he? $500 billion, sorry. And what's he got to show for it? He's got a lot of fighters tied up, hasn't he? But I do believe Deontay Wilder wants to fight, and I don't believe that Robert McCracken and Eddie Hearn want the fight. And I don't think Joshua wants to fight deep down. He don't. If Joshua wanted the fight, why would he be fighting a 39-year-old guy who's just gone life and death with David Price? Took account to David Price. Does that mean if David Price had beat Povetkin, he'd have been fighting Joshua? Now everything's pointing towards an April show with Dillian White, and it'll still point to that if Parker beats White, because they'll put White in with Chisora, because Chisora's shot to bits and Itakem should beat him. So you're going to have Chisora and White. Could they put that on a pay-per-view? Oh my god. But then the winner of that could still get Joshua. He's got a lot of round robins to play with without involving Luis Ortiz, who none of them want a part of except Dave Allen from Cunningsborough, and Wilder. They're staying away from Wilder and Ortiz. They're the bogeymen. Big, strong, hard-punching southpaw Ortiz. And don't forget Joshua don't like southpaws. And you got Wilder, biggest puncher in division, very awkward. Very fast and awkward. Massive, massive puncher. 40 fights, he knocked everybody out, because he rematched Stavern, didn't he? For those who said on the YouTube channel, because I don't reply on that, Wilder beat Stavern twice, hasn't he? He's got 2 wins over world champions. Joshua's got 3, hasn't he? But Martin and Parker never beat a champion. They were paper champs. Vladimir were 41. He were retired, wasn't he? Oh, he's got 4, hasn't he? So he got Parker. He beat Parker. Oh, Parker, Martin, Vladimir. Oh, he's got Povetkin next. That's his 4th. He's 39, isn't he? 40 next year. Joshua is manufactured. He's being put through. He's being helped along, isn't he? He's had to learn his craft as he's gone along, but he's had everything on his side, hasn't he, from Olympics? Because he only really beat 1 out of the 4 at the Olympics, didn't he? And from the Olympics and the fights he's having now manufactured. But good luck to him. But in my opinion, you don't want to fight Deontay Wilder. But getting back to Billy Joe Saunders, Demetrius Andrade, all I've seen of him is he bashed Brian Rose up, didn't he, at light middleweight? And Brian Rose were out his depth. He won a British title outright, but he didn't jump to European, did he? He jumped to world, and he was sent, you know, fighting in America. And I mean, they were saying dare to be great, weren't they, and that, but He wasn't ready for a guy like that, and he's got a lot of skills. But I think Billy Joe Saunders should just have enough in tank. But with Billy, it'll go 12 rounds, and will Billy Joe Saunders get the decision in America? That remains to be seen. He's a very, very skilled fighter, so he's got fighting blood in him. He's a traveller, but will he get the decision on an Eddie Hearn show on DAZN in America? That remains to be seen. But it's the WBO, innit? So I can assure you Frank Warren will be out there. So we're going to get to see, for the first time ever, Frank and Eddie in each other's company. And I bet they're nice as pie, because at the moment, both need each other. They both need each other. So, it's just my opinion. I thought the video I did yesterday was a bit harsh, and a lot of people liked it. We've got about 12,000 followers on Twitter, Anna. People say I bought them all. How did I buy all them? Jesus. But this is how I look at it. I've had loads and loads and loads of messages saying it was brilliant, but you'll get 100 messages saying it's brilliant, but then you'll get 5 or 6 saying nasty comments. So why do I block them people? So there's people complaining, you blocked me on Twitter but you're not on YouTube. Well, if I blocked you on Twitter, that's it, I blocked you. And you only get one chance of me. My advice is set another account up and just come out with proper comments. Don't come out and insult me, I'll block you. You know, my friend Peter Fury said to me, Russ, just block them. Just block them. It's no good getting upset over it, just block them. And that's it, and it goes. You see, I block them every day myself, just block them and that's it. So, when I go there tomorrow to Peter's, I'll say how many you blocked. I said about 40 last night. Look, you just got to block them, haven't you? You know, like people thinking you shit, you got to get rid of shit because it leaves stains. Well, people who are going to troll me, I'm going to block you, aren't I? So all them people on YouTube who've started, because they can't, I don't always read them comments, I leave that to Rico, and Rico don't reply to you all, does it? It says Porky's Corner with a grey background. If you get a replay on YouTube, it'll be off Rico, and it's very rare he'll reply to you, because he like runs a marketing company in London and he deals with everything else and I don't. I'm just in the trenches. I'm like 3 AM in a 4x4 stood talking to you and with camera on because I can't sleep. But no, you're gonna get blocked if you troll me and abuse me. I'm sorry, but I used to have back and forth with you, but now I've come to the stage where I've got that much on in my life. I don't want to just argue. It's negative, innit? I just let it go. People say, oh, you troll Eddie, and I don't troll Eddie. I've got Eddie's mobile phone number here. I've got his email here. If I have something to say to Eddie, I'll leave a message, I'll leave a voice message, or I'll say an email. I always get a reply off him if it's an email. I don't always on a voicemail or a text, but his dad always replies. They're very courteous people, the business people, aren't they? And if it's a good email, they'll reply. They're not going to be abused, are they? Eddie's blocked me on Twitter, only because he just couldn't cope with me being relentless. But the bottom line is this card at the weekend, you know, and Porky knows me. This card's terrible, innit? And everybody's putting their head in the sand. Johnny Nelson and all them people at Sky, they all know that it's a shocker. It's worse than a shocker, innit? But it is what it is, isn't it? It's no good me going on and on and on about it, because I'm becoming like a fucking broken record now, aren't I? Even when I mention it now and I see my kids, they're like, oh Dad, not that again. Even they don't want to hear it, 5-year-old twins. So, you know, I just want to draw a line under it now. It's poor, but they're getting away with it because people are buying it, aren't they? If you go back in history, remember Christopher Eubank Sr. Remember his run with Barry Hearn. Remember it. 19 WBO wins, but only 4 were world champions, and they were ex-world champions. Ben had a belt, didn't he, at middleweight, and the other 3 were ex-world champions. So 4 out 19. Who were the other 15? For example, Joe Calzaghe, 22 world title wins at the WBO. 6 were former champions. Kessler and Lacey were current champions. That's 8. Who were the other 14? These are just statistics I'm pointing out to you. Then you look at Carl Frocher, 10 wins over world champions, but he only had 12 title fights in his career. So he fought them back to back, didn't he? So Carl Froch's career, in theory, to say he only had 35 fights, is a lot better than Joe's, isn't it? Because he had 46 fights. He were in the wilderness for years just fighting just nobodies, wasn't he? Picking up £500,000 here and there and going under radar, waiting while Hopkins and Jones got old, whereas Froch went straight in there, didn't he, with guys at the peak. He was fortunate that they had the Super Six, but anyway, I want to talk about my favourite fighter apart from Carl Froch, Ryan Rhodes. I think he's a great fighter. I think it's a travesty that he never won a world title. I've met Ryan, I've got a lot of respect for him. I think I've mentioned it before when I first saw him in Lindholm prison when I was doing a sentence and he came to do an exhibition with Johnny Nelson and Brendan. We were all sold tickets at £2 and we thought Naz were going to turn up. That was 95 Christmas, but he didn't. But anyway, that's a long story. But Ryan Rhodes is my other favourite fighter, and he should have won a world title, but he was fighting at middleweight and really is a light middle. And by the time he fought Canelo, he was really over for Ryan then, when he was too old. But I'd have liked to see him get hold of Canelo. The 1997-98 Ryan Rhodes, get hold of the Canelo now. The Ryan Rhodes from 20 years ago. He'd have been looking at a different story, wouldn't you? But you know, that's boxing for you, isn't it? I think we've really covered that, haven't we, now? The Saunders, Demetrius, Andrade situation. I think Frank and Eddie both bottled it. It's like settling out of court, isn't it? Bit like Jamie McDonnell and Dennis Hobson. They were going to go to court, they were suing each other, the lawyers and all that. When it come to, it didn't get to that, they sorted it out of court, didn't they? I call that people bottle jobs. Well, you're going to go all the way, aren't you? Go all the way. Don't chicken out, but go with your gut instinct. If somebody's done you wrong, you'll go all the way. Now, if you think you're going to win that purse bid, you'll go all the way, don't you? If you think somebody's brought their contract and left you to go to another promoter, you sue them. Or if they think you've done something wrong with their contract, well, they sue you. So that's Jamie and Dennis's problem, innit? But that's all old news now, innit? Jamie's on slide now, and where's Dennis going now, really, now I've left? Where's he going? When Dennis met me, he had no TV and no champions. When I left, he had TV and 3 champions. What's going on now? I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but you know, I like to think that I put 3-year hard work in there, or 38 months, whatever it were, and I wish them all the best. But sometimes good things come to an end and great friends fall out. But that's life. If I saw Dennis in a pub having a fight, I'd steam in and help him. So that's how much respect I've got for him. So that's answered the questions that I keep getting on Twitter off people on new accounts and sending me just abuse like that. I ain't got a problem with Dennis. I'd buy him a pint if I seen him. But people in boxing, they have difference of opinions and they move on. Yeah, we're out of order leaving him in Leeds at that meeting with IBF and driving off in his car. You know, I shouldn't have done it. He got trained on, it won't hurt him, will it? And didn't his ego? But yeah, I did thrash his Q7 all the way down M62, yeah. I was pissed off. But that's how I am. I wear my heart on my sleeve. If it's something I don't like, I have to go my own way. But I don't want to speak about this again. So people stop sending me questions and trying to stir up stuff and sending emails to Dennis, or, you know, Tony Bell, you were ringing Dennis up telling tales and whatever. I've got no but respect for Dennis. But sometimes in life, people go their own ways. People say, yeah, you use Dennis to get involved in boxing. Look, everybody uses everybody in boxing, don't they? I never took a penny out of pot. We were creating something. So, but everybody uses everybody in boxing. You could say, maybe I wanted to get into boxing, I needed a route, but I fucking earned it, let me tell you, over them 38 months. Earned it, and never, like I said, didn't take a penny. So I don't want anybody to begrudge me the good things that are happening for me now in boxing. I don't want anybody to keep abusing me, because it's not nice abusing me all the time on here, because you're abusing my kids, aren't you? You know who you are, you 2 of you, or is it one? I think it's 1 person on 2 accounts saying things like that you're going to do to my children. You should be ashamed of yourself. Well, look, if you send any more like that, and then disgusting pictures you're DMing me, I'm probably going to have to take law into my own hands, and I'll have to send them to the mother, and I don't know what she'll do. So stop it, because to leave your IP addresses on it, I don't want to be down as a grass. But where kids are involved, I can't have that. Do you understand? You know who you are. You know who you are who keeps sending them awful pictures. You're a sick guy, mate. But anyway, that's by the by. Other than that, I'm looking forward to this weekend's boxing. I'm going to stream it. I'm not paying for it because I'm hardcore. I think Takam Chisora, White Parker, they're all great fights, but it shouldn't be on pay-per-view. The great Saturday night shows. If Carl Froch against Ward and Carl Froch against Butte is a Saturday night regular show, how come these fights aren't? There isn't even a world title on, is there? Come on. Katie Taylor, a world title, come on. She's an Olympian. She'll blow that girl away inside 3 rounds. Look, it is what it is, isn't it? It's boxing, isn't it? But thanks for listening. I want to thank all you people who have subscribed. When we get to 1,000 subscribers, my sponsor has offered to give me another shirt. So hurry up and get me to 1,000 subscribers. I want a new shirt from Ali Churchill Tailors in Doncaster, because I've had a couple off him already. And I tell you what, isn't it nice when you get stuff for free when you won't normally have to pay for it? No, I'm only joking. Shout out to Ledger Frames at Cunningsborough. Shout out to Ali Churchill's Tailors at Doncaster celebrating 50 year. Shout out to SIS Digital. They're looking to sponsor us. They put big screens up at stadiums, and an evening with Anthony Joshua, the big screens up, and they put them up at Newcastle United football ground. Boxing events, Ascot, Edgbaston cricket, rugby, massive screens. And sometimes you see them on motorway bridges and stuff like that. Google SIS Digital. Now we're in talks with them at the moment. They're looking to help the channel, so it's all good in it. But you know, I hadn't helped myself last couple of days. I was swearing and ranting off like I did yesterday, or the day before. So I'm going to try not to swear, because I've been told off for that. And swearing only makes you look stupid, doesn't it? But I was just a bit angry about this card, and I just felt I had to let a bit of steam off, and I'm alright now. I've calmed down about it, and I'm pretty mature about it. It is a bad card for pay-per-view, but put the pay-per-view aside, watch it on a free stream. It's a great show, isn't it? But it's not pay-per-view. We all know that, don't we? But that's about it, really. So everybody keep on trucking, keep on watching Porky's Corner. Don't forget to subscribe. Even if you don't like the things that I've said, just subscribe. It'd be nice. Show a bit of class. Don't just abuse me, and then when I look at who you are, you've got no followers and you're not even showing a picture. Let me see who you are. I want to see your face. Be real, people. Be real. If you're going to abuse me on Twitter, do what Captain Headboard did. At least he sent me a DM video of who he is, and I respect that. I respect that. So if you've got a problem, send me a little DM video. So look, I don't like what you're saying. Or like that Paddy did. He sent me a video and he said, Porky, I don't like you. You think you're hard. I want to meet you. Well, I can understand that if I get up your nose, Paddy. But keep watching channel. Good or bad, keep watching. Alright? Now, I'm gonna pull this round so I can get my car out. Morning. This is no good for the motorway, these. But
been doing 25 years. That'd be 1993.
Oops.
Dinosaurs then?
Not quite. But this photo's from 93. That's Daddy dressed as Wonder Weasel.
Wonder Weasel?
Oh, no, don't show him that. JSS have been installing since 1993 and manufacturing since 98. Not many can say that, and they've always been
it is what it is.
Isaac, have you posted that photo online?
Thank you very much. And I will see you all. Well, I might be doing some filming tomorrow at gym, but next video should be out on Monday, so probably Tuesday though. Alright, you take care, God bless. Keep on following Porky's Corner YouTube, at Big Vern 44 Twitter.